Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
All right, let's take it from the top again. Places. Action.
Well, let's see. We have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know is on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You going to be the coach, too?
Yes.
And you know the fellow's name?
Well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
Join us for another voyage back in time on Classic Radio Rewind. From adventures to westerns, from comedy to sci-fi, this is your ticket to Theater of the Mind. Without any further ado, here's your host for Classic Radio Rewind, Barry Slinker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dex Rowe, and welcome to another edition of Classic Radio Rewind. I'm Barry Slinker, and in this episode, we're going to hear from the Lum and Abner Show from 1948, followed by an episode from Escape from 1949, and lastly, we'll hear from the Martin and Lewis Show from 1952. But coming up right now, we're going to listen to an episode from Bold Venture starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Slate and Sailor rescue two castaways who turn out to be killers and mutineers. From November 5th, 1952, this is Bold Venture with the Merino Victory Mutiny.
Bold Venture. Adventure, intrigue, mystery, romance, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Together in the sultry setting of tropical Havana and the mysterious islands of the Caribbean. Bold Venture. Once again, the magic names of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall bring you Bold Venture and a tale of mystery and intrigue.
This is a dirty night to be out on the ocean, Slade.
It was a dirty day, too. Those dirty fish ate the bait and swished their tails for more.
The fish were biting for me. How do you explain that?
What's to explain? You stuck your head in the water and told the fish how good they'd look in a pan. Among fishermen who know fish best, those tactics stink.
Fish hate you, Slade. Resign yourself to it.
Fish hate other fish, sailor. They don't hate people.
They hate you. The word in the briny deep among our finny friends is that...
Ahoy! Hey, turn the searchlight over there, sailor. Ahoy! Ahoy! That's got it. Two guys in the ship's boat, sailor. Cut the motors. Ahoy!
Can you give us a hand? We're in trouble.
Sure, come alongside.
Right. Boy, we're glad to see you.
Hand me a line. Okay, secure. I'll give you a hand up.
Thanks. Come on, Chuck.
Yeah.
Hey, you're what they've been talking about, mister. The friend in need.
Glad to help. My name's Slate Shannon, and... Hey, sailor, come here. This is Sailor DeVal.
Joe Donnelly. My friend is Chuck Bishop.
Hi.
Hi.
Howdy.
Joe and me were fishing and that storm started to rise. The sea almost swamped us.
Fishing? Where's all your gear?
Lost it, I guess. About the only thing we saved is this bait box here.
Pretty small box for deep-sea bait. It'd hold enough for about 2 casts.
Well, Joe and me aren't very experienced.
Deep sea fishing in a ship's boat. That's a twist.
I said we weren't experienced.
Cut it out, Chuck. You say your name's Slate Shannon?
Look, Buster, it's the law of the high seas to help someone in distress, but I'd like the story that goes with the distress.
You'll get it. But first, I want you to meet this gun. Surprised, huh? I don't blame you. Take the wheel, Chuck. Let's get going. Juarez speaking. Sí, señor. Y sí. The SS Marino Victory? Un momento, señor. The Marino Victory sailed from the port of Havana yesterday at high tide, 7:12 a.m. Sí. I will get the men to plot our position. Juarez. Sí. Sí, I have been informed of the matter of the Marino Victory. Immediatamente. It will be taken care of. I have told you, senor, immediately. Venga, come in. What do you wish? Be quick, there is a great turbulence here.
Senor Juarez, I have come to ask a favor.
On a day that has more calm, you may ask me, King Moses. At present, I have no moment for the granting of favors.
Please listen, senor. Listen to me. Mr. Slate and Miss Sailor have not yet returned from their fishing. It has been many hours since they should have been back. The storm at sea, the winds.
You have fear for Sharon and the Senorita Duval? Why? They are children of the sea. They steer a boat as well as they steer each other.
But it is long after midnight, senor, and the storms that hover over the waters is greedy for lonely sea voyages. It is...
Yeah, I have heard of your talent for the footlights, King. How you make A productions out of B matters.
Please send a party to search for them, senor Juarez.
Where would I get such a party, King?
But you have many ships, many craft at your fingertips.
In the moment when you leave, I will not have them. They will be searching the Caribbean waters for the men who have mutinied on the SS Marino. Desperate men. Men of bloody violence. Murderers. Get me the Coast Guard. All available craft are to begin the search immediately for the murderers, the mutineers of the SS Marino. Their position...
This is a real tricky sea, Donnelly. And this isn't the best charted area in the world. There's shoals and reefs all over these keys. Your boy better know what he's doing.
Chuck's a slob, but he knows. You two want to breathe easier, I'll tell you something. Not a lot further to go. You know where Dorado Key is?
Sure. It's a cone-shaped couple acres somewhere around. If it went for the fog, I could point a finger at it.
Ship's boat 3 points off the starboard bow.
Yeah. I see it, Chuck. They're our boys. Head for them.
This is going to be quite a party.
That's right. A rendezvous with the rest of the jolly ones from the Marino Victory. They'll be glad to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Likewise.
Now, don't get so eager, sailor. This party might not materialize. Hey, Donnelly.
Yeah, I see. So they're headed for a fog bank, so?
So this. If I'm right, that shadow in the ocean over there is Dorado Key. And just about where that fog bank is rolling is a coral breakwater that belongs to Dorado Key. And just about where that ship's boat disappeared into the fog bank is just about where I'm talking about. And something tells me I was right.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck, give her the gas! Right.
Fog bank, Donnelly. Better tell your flunky to ease her.
Cut her, Chuck!
Look what I just scooped out of the ocean, Slate. A fresh piece of driftwood. Am I not lucky?
Take your hands out of the water. Somebody's liable to shake it.
So the boat crashed, Shannon. It doesn't change a thing.
Except that whoever was in the boat can't be alive, not in these waters.
Like I said, it doesn't change a thing. There's still the four of us. There's still Dorado Key. I think we'll all be happy. Chuck? Chuck, I'm talking to you, me.
What do you want?
You tired, baby? The rigors of that old devil sea exhaust you?
Maybe they did.
It hurts me how tired you are. Get up, slob. Keep the fire going. My guests are cold. That's a good slob. Now we can all keep warm. You like it when you're warm, don't you, Miss Duval?
Something you'll never know, Buster. The things I like. But the things I hate, maybe I can prompt you.
You hate me, huh? Well, let's start eating the hate away. That way we'll all live to a ripeness.
Let's start with the little black box, Joe. What's in it? Souvenirs of the loved ones at home and in Port Sacore?
It nibbles at you, huh, Shannon?
As long as we're all cozy like this at a beach party, comes the time when we all peel off our secrets. Sure, it nibbles.
Well, as long as the time has come. Tell him, Chuck. Tell him what's in the box.
You're crazy, Joe. You're going crazy.
Tell him, Slob.
Well, it's dope. Enough dope to...
I'll take it now, Chuck. You did elegant. Enough dope that it was a jolly task to kill our captain, his first mate. To watch our sea chums leave stains of their blood on the hungry rocks of Dorado Key. That's what's in the box. Any further questions?
Yeah, question. How does a happy boy like you live to open the box? A rope around your neck could numb your fingers.
I live as long as you. No, longer. A lot longer. I say that to make you bitter about the full, rich life I'm going to... Wait. Where you going, Chuck? I'm asking you. You'll never make Shannon's boat, you slob!
You killed him. Goody for our side, Slate.
Just in the leg. So he won't try to run out on us anymore. So he'll live to hold a gun on you when I get drowsy. Because you two might get coy. Pack up your kits, kiddies. We're moving.
Oh, and I'm beginning to love it here. The fire, the shootings in the leg.
Lots of legs left, honey. You and me, Shannon. We hide your boat in this cove. The nosy Coast Patrol will never see it. Then we make for the top of the hill. The cone, you call it. Who knows? Maybe we can top it off with some dead bodies, huh? Well, what do you know? We made the top of the hill. You can lay the boy down now, Shannon. I want you to enjoy the view.
Thanks. I'll never forget you, Joe, for the things you do for me.
Let me go, Donnelly. Let me go. You can have it all. Just let me go.
Shut up, you slob. You're interrupting the view. Enjoy it, Shannon. You, baby.
There's a good tall precipice here, Joe. Why don't you jump off? A belly whopper on the rocks would be tasty and enjoyable.
Top of the world. The top of an empty, rain-swept world. You fellas know I had poetry in me?
I didn't. Did you know this about Joe, sailor?
Uh-uh.
The things a fella doesn't know about a fella that makes the other fella stale.
The top of the world where I can sit in those pirate ruins over there and watch all the little bloodhounds of the sea smelling for mutineer Joe Donnelly. Take my hand, Shannon. I'm young again. I want to go exploring.
Joe, I promise you, I won't breathe a word. I don't want any part of what you want.
You can cry your heart out to me later, Chuck. Coming, Shannon?
Sailor told you. I'm allergic to gun prods ever since I was knee-high to a knee.
Sickens you, huh? Glad to hear it. Come on.
Hey, those ruins, they'll make a good shelter.
For me, honey boy, you sleep where it's cold and wet. You and baby and the slob. Not yet, Mother Earth.
That's a sinkhole. You got your foot caught in a sinkhole. Why don't you go wading, kid?
Shannon. Just the tippy toe of my toes easy. I got it out. Make you sorry and forlorn, huh?
Worse than that. I hate myself for not stuffing your mouth in it up to here.
Joe, listen to me. All I ask is just let me go. That's not much for a slob.
I got something for you, cripple.
Joe! No!
What kind of a man are you? You knocked him into the sinkhole. It'll drag him down. It'll...
Get me out! Leave him alone, Shannon. Leave him alone! I wanted him dead anyway. This is better than anything I dreamed.
You can't let him die like that.
Watch me. Leave him alone or you share it with him. This way we don't have to dig him a grave.
back to Bold Venture. Our stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and the second act of our story.
Find anything, Slate?
Not a thing. We've been over the whole island. There's nothing edible on it, not even a seagull's egg.
What's with the seagulls?
They're mighty particular where they lay their eggs. That's what's with seagulls.
No, the seagulls hate you. Fish and seagulls. You're making a name for yourself in the animal world, Slate.
You kids are born comics. I'm full of delight you could make this trip with me. It whiles away the hungry hour.
We've been on this island 2 nights and a day, Donnelly. The food on the Bold Venture was maybe enough for a hearty meal for a skinny man. How come?
I'll take it. How come I haven't killed you both? Is that what you're trying to say?
If you weren't such a blabbermouth, I could have put it in my own words, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Good chap, Slate. You stay right in there with him.
There's merit in what the man says, baby. If I'd killed the 2 of you, I could have had all those canned goods for myself. But remained the question of how do I get me and the dope off this stinking island?
We've been staying up nights watching the Coast Guard search for you. They've all gone home. Why don't we take you away from all this right now?
Because I don't fall for their crumb-bum tricks. Because right now I'm hungry.
You are? Gee, maybe you'll starve to death right in front of us. We made you laugh. Turnabout's fair play, Joe boy.
I never starved to death in my whole life. Shannon's going back to Havana to bring food. Just food, Shannon. If you bring anything or anyone else, I'll slaughter baby here.
Give me the keys to the boat.
8 hours, Shannon. That's all you have. 8 hours. And keep it in mind. From this tall piece of the world I own, I can watch every move you make.
Mr. Slate, where have you been?
How much food stuff we got in the kitchen, King?
Food stuff? You and Lady Sailor been gone 2 nights and a day, and I have been holding my head in my hands and shaking from side to side. I have been plagued with many thoughts of what has befallen you, all of them evil, and you...
Come on, King. Tell me what's in the kitchen.
Where's Lady Sailor?
On Dorado Key with a man in a sinkhole and a gun. If I'm not back there in 5 hours with that food, Sailor's going to be a thing of the past.
Take me with you, Mr. Slate.
Yeah, it's impossible. Donnelly sees me bring anyone back with me.
I'll hide in the boat. There's no necessity for anyone to see me. Then when the night shadows fall, I will creep silently as a leopard upon...
Just load the food, King. Well, don't look like that. You can come along.
Joe boy. Oh, Joe boy.
What's the matter, baby? You lonely?
Uh-huh. Look, I feel silly screaming, uh-huh. Why don't you come down from your pirate's tower and talk to your captive girl?
Yeah, the least I could do. I'm here, baby. Talk nice.
You haven't sighted the Bold Venture yet?
Shannon's still got another hour. That means he's been gone 7.
Look, Ma, a regular mathematical wizard.
Yeah. I even figured this. In 7 hours, you miss him enough to want me at your side.
It's a long time between rickshaws.
The high altitude makes your head spin, huh, baby?
Round and round. Say the right word and I'll gather enough momentum to fly away.
That's all I have to do? Say a word?
Maybe more. Maybe lots more. And maybe no words at all.
Like that, huh?
I could be the end of your rainbow, kid. But you've got to find the way yourself.
Oh, try this one. With what I keep locked in this little black box, we could make all the neon in the world glow a little brighter.
How much do you figure it's worth, Joe boy?
I found a way, huh, baby? 50 grand and 100 grand. Depends on how good I am at bargaining.
If you were real good, I'd walk in your shadow.
You're a scream, baby. A long, shrill scream.
You're dropping your marbles, Joe boy. You never had a better offer.
No, not better, baby. Never better, but truer. More from the heart. Go yell it to the wind, baby, how you tried, how you loused it. Crawl away and die for Joe Donnelly. Me, I'll wait for Shannon with the canned goods.
Easy through these shores, Mr. Slate. Easy. Easy. Shoaling off. Ah, Mr. Slate, it is always a sight to see the way you handle this bold venture.
Like poetry, huh? Hey, what time is it?
Few minutes before 5 o'clock.
Well, that gives us a few minutes.
You think he sees us from up there?
How do I know? That's the chance we've got to take. That's why I brought the Bold Venture into this side of the island. Donnelly will probably be watching the other side. Side we tied up at last time.
It's getting dark, Mr. Slate. Maybe he couldn't see us anyway.
It's not dark enough. Yesterday, this place was hidden in clouds. Now look at it. Clear as glass. All right, you better get down out of the way, King. We're getting close enough.
Right. When we reach the island, what happens?
I'm trying to convince myself he hasn't seen us. I'll go ashore. You stay with the boat.
But, Mr. Slate, why don't you let me...
Hold on, King. I'm going to beat you.
You can stop pouting now, baby.
Why don't you take a walk for yourself into that sinkhole and sniff yourself a little mud?
Oh, baby, just because I don't care for the type you've got? Maybe if I give you a peck on the forehead, it'll make the world all right with you. Maybe if I... Hey, you know something?
Why don't you give it up, Joe? When Slate comes with the food, let us get off the island. We won't go to the police. We'll make out this has all been a wild, wild dream. I promise you, we'll forget about it.
It's 5 o'clock, baby, and neither hide nor hair of Shannon. You know what that means for you?
Oh, Slate's never on time. He always plays hard to get. You'll see. He'll be here. You can always depend on Slate. Dependable Slate, they call him. Through thick and thin, Shannon. I never did this routine before. I didn't know it was funny.
Look at him. Look at your Shannon. A prowler through the evening woodlands. Watch him die, baby.
Put down that gun. Don't shoot him.
Get off the arm. Get off it! You lost it, baby. You ruined my aim.
Oh.
So sit there and watch. See how your fella's gonna die.
It's dark, Slate. I'll light your way with this gun. Don't be a fool, Donnelly. The food's on the boat. All you have to do is go down and get it.
I see you, Slate. Don't move. Coming into that brush after you. I said don't move. Did I hit you, Shannon?
Don't be crazy. I've got my hands over my head.
Keep him there.
Hi, Shannon. Bring back any anchovies? I'm a fool for anchovies.
Where's Sailor?
Let me tell you about her, Shannon. Your baby's fickle. She wanted to deal you out and deal me in. But all I gave her was a promise I'd let her watch you die. Here we go with the prods again, Shannon. I wanted to see it up close.
Sailor tried to tease you away from the gun, huh?
Yeah, among other things. But like you see, she didn't make it. She didn't make it at all.
You look different, kid.
Yeah, pale and puny. That's only from a lack of vitamins. You'll fix that.
Oh, I meant the little black box. It's not nestling under your arm the way it always is.
Don't worry your ugly little head. I got it stashed away where it won't hurt nobody.
Figuring on hanging around here long?
Not long. Just long enough to fill in the hungry gaps. Get rid of you. Make sure the cops are tired of playing hide and seek with me.
What are you going to do with Sailor?
Don't worry. We'll get along. Okay, you can stop now, Shannon.
Huh. You're giving me a choice. I can jump into this sinkhole or you'll shoot me into it, huh?
That's about it, Shannon.
I'm going to give you the choice.
Thanks.
Hey, Sailor. Come here. Your boy's gonna die. You want to watch? Hey, Sailor.
Slate. Shouldn't have come back.
Yeah. Your boy's been telling me how maybe you didn't want me to come back. Well, I hope you two monsters will be very happy together.
Thanks, Slate. Joe, I want to give you something. This.
Hey, I hid that box in the ruins. Where'd you get it?
In the ruins. You don't want me to have it? Okay. I'll throw it into that sinkhole.
No, you fool, you stupid.
Get him, Slate.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Slate, that sinkhole. You can't let him.
What's to worry? I've got hold of his ankles.
Oh, pull him out.
I know what to do with a man in a sinkhole. He needs a mud pack. Sailor, you weren't really going to run out on me for this guy, were you?
For all I care, you can let go his ankles.
That's all I wanted to know. There. I've got him out. There's grub on the boat, sailor. You can go make me a hot meal.
Hey, Slate, come here.
Yeah, what do you want, sailor?
You remember how we went fishing and you couldn't catch fish?
Well, don't rub it in. I had an off day.
I caught fish. And you remember on Dorado Key you said there were no seagull eggs?
Admiral Perry couldn't have found a seagull egg on that key.
No. Look.
What in the... What's that?
It's a young seagull. Goes by the name of Melvin. He's all yours, Slate.
Yeah, well, don't hold him so close. Sailor, keep him away from me.
Melvin likes you, Slate.
Well, don't tell me you paid money for this worm bait.
I found the egg Melvin came out of on Dorado Key.
Well, how'd he hatch?
You remember you fell asleep on the boat coming home? And I loaded you with all those warm blankets? And I told you, don't move?
Sailor, you mean...
Yeah, I mean. Melvin, say hello to Daddy.
And so our two stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, have brought to a close our latest bold venture story. Special music was composed and conducted by David Rose. May we invite you to listen again next week at this time for another exciting adventure starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall together in Bold Venture.
That was Bold Venture with the Merino Victory Mutiny, as originally heard November 5th, 1952. Next up on Classic Radio Rewind, we've got a classic episode from the Lum and Abner Show starring Chester Luck and Norris Goff. The boys are convinced that baby Cedric is a mind reader and plan to book him on a radio quiz show. From October 10th, 1948, this is the Lum and Abner Show with The Mind Reader.
Granny, is Abner? I believe that's our ring.
Aw. Frigidaire presents the new Lum and Abner Show. Tonight, Frigidaire, a division of General Motors, brings you a brand new kind of visit with those old characters down in Pine Ridge. Featuring Clarence Hartzell as Ben Withers, the music of Felix Mills, and starring your old favorites, Lum and Abner. America's #1 refrigerator is Frigidaire. Yes, any way you look at it, America's #1 refrigerator is Frigidaire. #1 in popularity, for more Frigidaire refrigerators serve in more American homes than any other make. Number one in thrilling new advantages, as you can see for yourself at any Frigidaire dealers. And number one in dependability. For Frigidaire refrigerators are made only by General Motors. And this association of experience with experience, of skill with skill, is your guarantee of lasting satisfaction. So when it comes to a new refrigerator for your home, remember this. The first name you think of is the right one to buy. Frigidaire, America's number one refrigerator. And now, as we look in on the little community of Pine Ridge, we find Lum and Abner in their Jot-'em-Down store. Lum is consulting a mind-reading book. Listen.
Abner, how can I ever learn to read your mind if you keep acting like you ain't got one? Now, concentrate and shoot me a brainwave.
Lum, what in the world do you want to learn how to be a mind reader for anyway?
Well, listen. You know that radio program called Take It and Beat It has got a jackpot question so hard that nobody's been able to answer it for 16 months. But if I can get on the show and read the mind of the fellow that's asking the question, I've got the answer and $21,000.
Doggers, Lum, you have got an idea there.
Why, sure I have. Now, help me learn this mind reading.
Yeah, all right. What you want me to do?
Well, close your eyes and imagine you're writing a number on a blackboard.
All right. I just hope you can read my handwriting, though.
Have you got one yet?
Well, not quite. Oh.
What are you rubbing the back of your head for?
I'm erasing that first number I put down there.
Well, hurry up, Abner. Get a number.
All right, I got one. 7.
Well, don't tell me what it is.
Oh.
Now, let's try again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you concentrating?
I'm concentrating.
394.
No, 7.
Yeah? Let's try it once more.
Yes, let's.
Have you got one?
Yep.
7.
No, 394.
I don't understand this. I never had this trouble when I worked it on myself. I reckon my brain vibrates too much.
Rattle brain, huh?
No, the book says you're supposed to make your mind a complete blank.
Well, if that's what it takes to be a mind reader, here comes the world's champion, Cedric Weehan.
Oh, howdy.
Hey, Cedric, stop right there. What number am I thinking of?
4.
Doggers, that's right. Did you hear that, Lum?
Oh, that was just a wild coincidence.
I bet it wasn't. Cedric, how come you to pick out that number, 4?
You mean there's other numbers?
Doggers, Lum, we might have a genius here.
Well, now, wait a minute. Let's try him on something harder. Now, here's an old grocer order on the floor. Cedric, tell us what's wrote on this paper without looking at it.
Yeah.
5 pounds of potatoes, a bucket of lard, and a can of cool oil.
Doggy, Cedric, you done it.
Why, that's exactly right. Well, if that don't beat the bugs a fighting.
Well, you're a genius, Cedric. A genius if I ever seen one.
Cedric, the radio show Take It and Beat It's going to broadcast from Little Rock this week. If I can get you on that show, will you go over there with me?
Yeah, we can split $21,000.
Well, sure, I'd love to be on a show. I'll go home and get my bird whistle right now.
Well, we don't want you to play your bird whistle on this show.
Well, why don't you tell me what you want me to do then? What do you think I am, a mind reader?
Insure Cedric's head. What do you want to do that for, Lum?
Well, Squire, I don't want to tell you right now. I just want to get some kind of a policy that'll insure Cedric again learning anything. Got to keep his mind a complete blank.
This is the safest policy I ever wrote right here. What you want's a blank policy, Lum. I've got one here on my desk somewhere, I know.
Yeah, come over here, Cedric. You'll more than likely have to sign something.
Yes, Mom.
By the way, Lum, here's a letter I think we ought to do something about. It's from old J.J. Leeds. Now, he writes, Dear friend, Squire Skimp, I hate to bring this up, but handwriting's kind of bad here. I think it says...
But I need some cash bad.
Yes, that's right. Wait a minute. Cedric, how do you know what's in this letter? You can't see it.
Cedric, cut that out.
Say, this boy might be a mind reader. Cedric, can you tell me anything else the letter says?
Oh, sure says we had a lot of sickness lately and business is bad.
Well, by George, this is amazing. So that's why you wanted him insured, huh?
Well, yeah, might as well admit to it, Squire.
Well, here, we better get the policy signed. Cedric, put your name down on this line right here.
Yes, Mom. Oh, yeah, Cedric, we couldn't think of my name. I know it just as well as I do my own name.
Yeah, that's fine, Cedric. Oh, well, what do you know? Well, this is a joke on me. Instead of giving Cedric an insurance application, I, absent-mindedly had him sign a personal manager's contract. Well,
You done what?
it looks like I've got exclusive rights to the greatest mind reader in the whole country.
Granny's, Abner, this is terrible. We lose Cedric to that varmint Squire Skimp, and now we get this telegram telling us to have Cedric in Little Rock tomorrow afternoon for that quiz show. Oh, my goodness, look who's coming in.
Well, howdy, Ben Withers.
Just fine, thank you.
Look, Ben, I hate to rush you out of here, but we got to figure out how to break Cedric's contract, so...
Well, certainly, I'll be glad to help you, Lum. What you want is a good lawyer, and the man to get is Russell Altmeyer.
Now, listen here,
You've
Ben.
heard me mention George Bernbolt, haven't you, Abner?
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, Russell Altmeyer is George Bernbolt's cousin-in-law by marriage.
Well.
Evelyn married Ed Hausman.
We don't care who was married to who.
Neither did Ed. That's the reason they broke up. So then Evelyn married the youngest Bernbolt boy, whose Uncle Cecil married Pauline Hagg, spelled H-A-G-G.
I don't care how it's spelled.
So you see, Uncle Cecil's mother was an Altmeyer.
Yes?
His mother-in-law was a Hagg.
Ben, I hate to have to throw you out of here, but...
Wait. You want me to get a hold of Attorney Altmeyer for you?
No, we don't.
I'm sure he can take your case because he hasn't practiced much since the Webley case. No doubt you've heard about that.
No, I don't believe I have.
Abner, don't encourage him.
Honest Ike Webley was accused of stealing a 1922 Buick.
Who was?
Yes. Nice fellow. Honest Ike was accused of stealing this car, and Russell Altmeyer took his case and proved him innocent.
Well, good for Russell.
Then it turned out that Honest Ike didn't have the money to pay Russell, so he gave him his car, a 1922 Buick.
Well, that was nice of him.
Well, I've got to run along now, but I'll get in touch with Russell for you, Lum.
No, don't do that, Ben.
Fine. So long.
Let's see, where was we at now? Oh, yeah, Dad blame that Squire Skimp.
You're taking advantage of a 6-year-old boy like Cedric.
6? Well, that big lummox is 24 if he's a day.
Yeah, but Lum, his birthday's on February the 29th, leap year, so he just has one every 4 years.
Granny's, wait a minute. You give me an idea there. Cedric's a minor.
When did he take that up?
I mean, he's underage. That contract he signed ain't legal. You watch the store, Abner. I've got a little business with Squire Skimp.
You see, Cedric, you'll be the headliner of this vaudeville tour I'm planning, but first I've got to find some other acts to go along with, you know. Build a big show around you.
Yes, Mom.
Now, here's an act that's at Liberty right here. Cato and his 7 singing coyotes. Big crowd getter, features patriotic songs.
Sounds lovely.
Here's another one. Lady Minerva, the mermaid. Only mermaid to be shot from a cannon.
Like Puff Tweet, huh?
Lands in only 2 feet of water and comes up with the American flag on her dorsal fin.
I put up the flag at school.
Oh, now here's something here. Sensational act. Sensational seal act. Hot Lips Homer. The Henry Bussey the Seals. Plays 5 different tunes, all popular. Only seal that can triple tongue. Can sit in with the band when not performing. Has tux, will travel.
Say, Mr. Squire.
Yeah.
In this show we're going to put on, just what is it I'm supposed to do?
Well, a mind reading act.
Mom?
You know that business where... Cedric, you can read minds, can't you?
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, my stars alive. Here, Cedric, if you can't read minds, how did you know what was in that letter I got from J.J. Leeds?
Oh, Papa got one just like it, and I read his.
Great balls of fire. Wait a minute, though. Didn't you mind read a grocery order at the Jot 'em Down store?
Oh, that was a list I lost there the day before. Mama always has me memorize them in case I lose them.
Oh. Cedric, my boy, before I throw you out of here, will you give me a good, swift kick? I'll swear I never heard it.
Squire.
Oh, come in, Lum.
All right, Squire, I've got you right where I want you.
You too?
Yeah, in case you don't know it, Squire, Cedric's just a 6-year-old minor, so that contract he signed ain't legal.
Well, yes, that may be true, Lum, but see, I also have a bona fide verbal contract.
Uh-huh.
Now, you can't sign a verbal contract, Lum, so that makes it entirely legal and binding.
Well, now, just...
however, Lum, if you're that anxious to get Cedric, I'll be more than happy to sell you this verbal contract for $500.
Granny's, it's a deal.
It certainly is, Lum. It certainly is.
Well, come in, Mr. Niles. How's the old Frigidaire representative?
Well, fine. How are you fellas today?
Hi, Doggers. You just catched us in time. We was just fixing to take the bus to Little Rock.
Little Rock? Well, I'm on my way to Little Rock myself. Why don't you just ride with me?
Will there be room for all of us?
Sure. Almost as much room in that car as there is in a new Frigidaire.
Oh, there you go, Oswan. You can find more ways to bring up that subject.
I believe that was our ring, Lum.
Yeah, I'll get it. Hello, Jot 'em Down store. Lum Edwards talking. Ma? Well, no, just a minute, Miss Dilbeck. Mr. Niles, the Frigidaire representative, is here right now. I'll get him to answer your question. Mr. Niles, would you like to talk to this lady on the party line?
Sure, be glad to. Hello? Why, certainly. Of course. Why, in Frigidaire refrigerators, you can keep anything that needs refrigerating. You see, you have the right kind of cold for everything. Freezing cold for frozen foods, moist cold for storing foods uncovered, super moist cold for fruits and vegetables, normal cold for bottle goods. But the important thing about cold is... Say, just a moment, please. Say, Lum, I can hear phone receivers clicking all up and down the line. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. You're on the party line. They're just listening in. Go ahead and tell a whole bunch about it.
Oh. Well, folks, the important thing about cold in a refrigerator is that you always have plenty of it when you need it and at low cost. That's why it's so important to choose a Frigidaire refrigerator. For Frigidaire, and only Frigidaire, has the Meter Miser, the simplest cold maker ever built. The Meter Miser is the heart of Frigidaire, the powerful heart that keeps pumping cold every hour of the day, year after year. Yes, the Meter Miser is so powerful, it can keep even the biggest Frigidaire refrigerators filled with cold, even in the hottest weather. Yet the Meter Miser is so economical, it cuts current cost to the bone. No wonder Frigidaire with a Meter Miser is America's #1 refrigerator. Well, thank you for calling.
Granny's, Mr. Niles, they ought to call you old Meter Miser.
Yeah. I bound you if a body could peek inside that head of yours, all he'd find's an ice cube.
Granny's, I wish you'd hurry up and get time for that quiz show. I'm anxious to get that money.
Yeah.
I'm getting on easy sitting here in this hotel room.
Cedric, maybe you better lay down and take a nap. Don't forget you ain't but 6-year-old.
Just, Mama, reckon I ought to shave first.
You know, Abner, I was just thinking how mad old Squire Skimp's going to be when he finds out we're going to make $21,000 off of that $500 contract.
Hello, yeah.
I bet he'll be mighty nigh as mad as he was when he found out I couldn't read minds.
Well, it served... Huh? What did you say, Cedric?
See, somehow Mr. Squire got the crazy idea that I was a mind reader and...
Oh, my goodness alive, this is terrible.
Cedric, you mean...
Oh, no.
Well, hold on here now. How come you was able to do all them stunts then, Cedric?
Oh, my goodness. I'll bet that's the feller from the radio show.
Huh?
Hurry up. Get Cedric into the bedroom till we figure out what to do.
Yeah, come on, Cedric. Hurry up. Get on out of here. Come on.
Come in.
Well, there you are, Lum.
Well, for pity's sakes, Ben Withers, how'd you get clean to Little Rock?
Fine. I finally located Attorney Russell Altmeyer.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
In fact, he's here with me, but he says you'd better not depend on him.
Huh?
He's been disbarred again for driving a stolen 1922 Buick. I'll see you later, Lum. Russell's waiting for me.
Grannies, I hope they get on the elevator after it's left. All right, Abner, bring our genius out here and let's try to figure... No, wait. Leave him there. Come in.
Well. How are you, Mr. Edwards?
Well, I'm...
Everything okay here? I'm Eddie Cobb, the old quiz and quip master in the flesh. Well, is Mr. Wee Hunt all set to go on a little old show and walk off with a little old jackpot?
Well, Mr. Cobb, to be right honest, I don't believe Mr. Wee Hunt's going to be able to go on your program.
But we're depending on him.
I can't help it. He's just too nervous and high-strung. After all, he ain't but 6-year-old.
Oh, yes, I know. 6?
Just a baby.
Why, this is wonderful. Sensational. Oh, what a novelty. Just what the show needs. Say, has the little tyke started the kindergarten yet?
Oh, yeah, he's in the 3rd reader.
Oh, a baby. And he's already in the 3rd grade. Why, he must be a mental giant. Well, now, here's what we'll do. We'll put him on as a special guest and call some college professor out of the audience to come up and ask him some good, hard questions.
But, Mr.
Oh, boy, this is sensational. Well, see you and the little tot at the broadcast. So long.
Abner, did you hear any of that?
Every single miserable word of it.
Oh, me.
Oh, my.
Wait a minute. Do you think you could go out and buy encyclopedia and a large pair of rompers? I think I'm getting an idea.
Uh-oh.
We're going to make Cedric memorize the answers to the questions that college professor out of the audience is going to ask him.
Yeah, but how we know what questions he's going to ask?
'Cause you're going to be the college professor.
Me?
From Harvard University. Cedric, pull up your romper leg and pay attention to Abner. The radio show's already on the air, and they'll be coming to get you any minute now.
Yeah, now listen, Cedric.
Boulder Dam is 727 feet high.
Cedric, we ain't working on that now. Who invented the hydraulics turbine? Lump, this ain't gonna work. All Cedric said for the last 2 hours is, oh, why? Why do you keep saying that, Cedric? See there, Lum, we better just give this up.
Hey, hurry up. It's time for baby Cedric.
Oh, yes, sir. We'll be right there. Now, come on, let's go. Get out in the audience, Abner. And Cedric, pull up your rompers.
Well, thank you, Mrs. T.J. Bibberson of 224 Fontanelle Street, South Oak Grove, Arkansas. Well, Harry, what's Mrs. Bibberson's score?
Got it right here, Eddie.
Well, let's have it, Harry.
All right, Eddie. Mrs. T.J. Bibberson of 224 Fontanelle Street missed only 5 out of her 5 questions.
Well done. T.J. Bibberson. That wins for you a case of Dr. Sampson's new improved false teeth cement. And the right to compete for the big jackpot question. So don't go away, Mrs. Bibberson.
And now, Eddie.
Yes, Harry.
Now for your special guest, Eddie.
Right, Eddie. I mean, Harry. Ladies and gentlemen, Take It and Beat It is proud to present the outstanding quiz kitty of them all, tiny 6-year-old baby Cedric. Bring him on.
Hello.
Hey, wait a minute. Not you. Get out of here. Where's the baby?
I'm him.
You? Aren't you a little large?
Oh, not for my height, no.
Me. Cedric, I understand you're in the 3rd grade already. Is that true?
Oh, why,
Yes. Are you a pretty outstanding student there?
Yes, Mom. I'm the only boy in the 3rd reader with a Social Security card.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try something new tonight. We're going to get some brilliant person to come up out of our audience and try to stump this little monster. Wizard. Now then, is there
I
a...
have a lawyer in the balcony. Attorney Russell Altmeyer.
I wonder if there isn't a college professor in the audience.
Yes, sir, I'm a college professor. Harvard, J.C.
Fine. Come right up here, Professor. Watch the steps now when you're coming up on
Yes,
the stage.
sir. Yes.
That's the idea. Now, okay, come right over here to the microphone, please. That's it, Professor. Now, could we have your name, please?
Professor Peabody.
Ph.D.?
R.F.D.
Old Harvard, you say, huh? And what do you teach there?
Oh, spelling, numbers, deportment, geography, stuff like that.
Good. Professor, I want you to meet our guest, baby Cedric. You've never seen this boy before, have you?
Never in my whole life.
Hello, Mr. Abner.
All right, Professor. We're going to turn baby Cedric over to you now. Try and stump him.
Yes, sir. Baby Cedric, how high?
Boulder Dam is 727 feet high.
Is Boulder Dam.
I done answered that one.
Well, don't go so fast. Who invented...
J.B. Francis.
The hydraulic turbine.
Let's see, that's a hard one, ain't it? Oh, why,
You've done got it, Cedric. Now, don't answer till after I give you the question. Now then, what year will Halley's Comet return?
Can I answer now?
Sure.
The kangaroo.
Right. Now, name an animal that carries its young in a pouch.
Sweet Rosie O'Grady.
Right. Now, name a song in which... wait a minute, Cedric. I don't know, but I believe we're a little mixed up here. Yeah, we better get out of here. Come on, Cedric.
Boulder Dam is 700...
Come on out of here.
No, wait. Don't run away. We want baby Cedric to compete in the big jackpot question.
Yeah, well, we can't keep baby Cedric up no longer. It's past his bedtime right now.
Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big moment we've all been waiting for. As you know, the jackpot has built up to $21,000 in cash, plus
a 1-year subscription to Modern Priscilla.
An all-expense trip for 3 to romantic Minot, North Dakota.
A complete set of Morocco-bound pictures of the vice presidents of the United States.
An all-expense trip for 3 back from Minot, North Dakota.
And a glass-bottomed canoe.
And now...
Come on, Cedric, let's get out of here.
Oh, no. We're going to ask Mrs. Biberson of 224 Fontanelle Street the big jackpot question. Mrs. Biberson?
Who?
You!
I'm a housewife.
You told us that, Mrs. Biberson.
Who?
You!
I'm a housewife.
Oh, you're a great sport, Mrs. Biberson, a great sport. Now, listen closely. A native citizen of the United States of America is in his hometown. He can walk less than 100 miles in any direction and hit salt water. Where is he?
Salt Lake City.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Biverson. I'm sorry. Give that lady another case of Dr. Sampson's new improved false teeth cement.
It is too Salt Lake City.
Oh, no, I'm
What
sorry.
have you got against Salt Lake City?
Scram, get out of here, Scram. And now we'll ask our guest contestant, Baby Cedric. Are you ready, baby?
Mom.
A native citizen of the United States of America is in his hometown. He can walk less than 100 miles in any direction and hit salt water. Where is he?
Oh, why,
Would you repeat that?
I said, oh, why,
That is absolutely correct. Hawaii!
Mom?
Congratulations, baby Cedric!
Lum and Abner will be back in just a moment. But first, here is an important question. Would you like to have all this in an electric range? An oven so automatic that it can cook a meal all by itself while you're away from home? A deep well cooker that can cook at high speed for as long as 20 minutes, then automatically shift to simmer heat? Surface units that are fast, economical, easy to keep clean. Then see your Frigidaire dealer tomorrow. Ask about the wonderful Frigidaire electric ranges.
Well, here's the figures on our winnings. After deducting the taxes, all we owe the government is $3 apiece. But if we can sell the glass-bottom canoe, we ought to break even.
Yeah. But it's been a good experience. Cedric, ain't you learned something from it?
Yes, Mom. Boulder Dam is 727 feet high.
The new Lum and Abner Show is brought to you each week by the Frigidaire division of General Motors, manufacturers of a complete line of home appliances, air conditioners, and refrigeration equipment for American business. The script is written by Roz Rogers and Betty Boyle, with music by Felix Mills and his orchestra. So until next Sunday night, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles saying good night for Frigidaire, America's #1 refrigerator. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
That was the Lum and Abner Show with the Mind Reader, as originally heard October 10th, 1948. And we have come to the end of hour number 1. Hour number 2 is waiting for us on the other side of the break as Classic Radio Rewind returns right after these messages. Welcome back to Classic Radio Rewind. I'm Barry Slinker, and kicking off hour number 2 is an episode from Escape, starring Ben Wright. Two drummer boys show a British regiment the meaning of courage in battle. From July 14th, 1949, this is Escape with drums of the fore and aft.
Suspense, which is usually heard at this hour on Thursday nights, is taking its customary summer holiday. Suspense returns to the air 7 weeks from tonight on Thursday, September 1st.
You are deep in the remote hill country of Afghan, face to face with the fierce Pathan warriors, trapped into a hopeless fight from which there seems no escape.
We offer you Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight, we escape to the north of India and to a battle long remembered, as Rudyard Kipling described it in his famous story, The Drums of the Fore and Aft.
When I came out from England to serve as a news correspondent with the British troops on the northwest frontier of India, I was attached to a regiment known as the Fore and Fit, Princess Hohenzollerns own Royal Light Infantry. Fore and Fit. But now, behind their backs, men call them the Fore and Aft. When certain words are shouted in front of other barracks, the troops may come out with belts and fists, but the mere whisper of Fore and Aft brings out the men of this regiment with rifles in their hands and murder in their eyes. I think perhaps the story of how the Fore and Aft got its name may be really more the story of Jakin and Piggy Lou, two of the toughest and most lovable little monsters who ever banged a drum or tooted a fife in a military band. They were both about the same age, with curly hair and the faces of cherubs, and inside were two souls that should have belonged to a pair of devils. I must have seen them before, of course, but the first occasion I can recall was at an informal court the colonel was holding in the orderly room one morning. Piggy and Jakin were there, and they were in trouble, as usual.
All right, Sergeant. Read the charges.
Yes, sir. The charge is made by one Smithers, a civilian, that while walking back of the bazaar at 6 p.m. last evening, he was set upon without provocation by two drummers from the regimental band known as Jakin and Peggy Lou, and by them was beaten into near insensibility.
Well, go on, Sergeant.
Mr. Smithers states further that he was struck down by the two defendants and while lying on the ground was kicked repeatedly in the face and ribs, escaping with his life only through the timely arrival of a detachment of the guard. That's all, sir.
Well, what about it? Jakin? Piggy? Is this the truth?
Oh, yes, sir. We gave him what for, all right?
That will do, Piggy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Sergeant. Turn them over to the bandmaster and have him tan their hides.
Yes, sir. Come on, you.
Wait a minute. Begging your pardon, sir, but can't we say nothing in our own defence?
What if a bloomin' civilian said he'd report you for having a bit of a barney with a friend? Suppose he tried to get money out of you, sir, and then he...
That will do, Piggy. You were fighting.
Well, only between ourselves, sir. That doesn't count.
We can't have no blinking civilians interfering with the business of Her Majesty's regiment.
All right. We forget the birching. But you're both confined to quarters for 3 days.
Oh, but, sir...
All right. Dismissed. And throw away that pipe when you get outside, Piggy. You're too young to be smoking.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Confound it, Kipling. I don't know what to do with the lads. They're not really bad at heart, and they've never known any home with the army.
Where do they come from, Colonel?
Oh, Jakin is from some back street in London, and Piggy Lou is straight off the Calcutta docks. And in both cases, ancestry unknown.
Well, they seem loyal enough to the regiment, at any rate.
They are, and loyal to each other in their own way. I'm inclined to think sometimes they've got more real spirit than all these new regulars put together.
Aren't you a bit overloaded with green troops, Colonel?
Overloaded? My dear fella, 90% of the regiment were in Manchester factories or Lancashire farms 6 months ago. Can't make a soldier that length of time.
Any chance of action very soon?
Between ourselves, Kipling, we'll probably move north in about 10 days.
Oh.
No, not to the front, of course. We'll give them a few months to shake down before they go into action.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's the only thing to do. There's one thing certain. This regiment is not ready for action yet. Only, don't write that back to your paper.
But the gods who govern armies seldom choose the wisest plan. On the Afghan border, a large force of Pathan guerrillas began massing near the Khyber Valley, being held in check temporarily by a regiment of Highlanders and a regiment of native Gurkhas. A week later, the 4 and Fit, a regiment totally unprepared for action, was ordered to march north, contact the 2 regiments, and carry out a joint action to disperse the enemy. Parade ground and barracks began to hum with preparations for the coming campaign. Privates walked with a new swagger, and the young officers nearly shot one another at pistol practice. But to Piggy and Jakey, the excitement was like salt in an open wound, for the band was reduced to 20 men, and the drummer boys were being left behind.
Blimey, I won't let him do it to me, Jakin. Me, what's going to have a career in the army, being left behind like an old boot.
Oh, why should you worry? Now you can stay here with that blooming girl of yours.
Oh, what's a girl when the regiment's going to the front? And besides, how am I to explain to her about being left behind with the women?
What do you have to explain anything to her for? She's only 13.
I've been telling her I'd get myself a medal when the first campaign came along, and how am I to do it now?
I heard in the barracks they're going to take Tom Kidd along. He's to be the bugler. Of course, he's 18, though.
He may be 18, but I can plaster the wall with him any day, and with one hand behind my back.
Perhaps we could bash him round a bit. Oh, just enough so as he can't bugle no more. You could hold his hands, Piggy, and then I'll kick him in the...
No. He still wouldn't take us. Our reputations ain't what they might be, you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, for myself, I'd just as lief stay here and do a bit of loafing.
With our own regiment going into action, why, I'd as lief have my...
Oh, look who's coming. It's the blooming Colonel himself.
And so it is, all alone. You know, Jakin, my boy, I think I'll go and have a little talk with the Colonel. You wait here.
Have you gone daft with the eats?
Yeah, catch my pipe.
Blimey, now we're in for it again.
Begging the Colonel's pardon, sir.
What's that? Well, Piggy, the drum's in revolt.
No, sir. I'd like the pleasure of a word with you, sir.
All right. Go ahead and have it.
Well, sir, if you thought the world and all of your regiment, and it was going off to active service without you, sir, then how'd you feel?
I'm afraid I should feel a bit left out of things.
Well, that's how Jakin and me feels about it, sir.
You've no idea what a campaign can be like, Piggy. Why, you'd flop in your face in the first 20 miles.
Oh, no, we wouldn't, sir. We're good at marching. I've told my girl I'd bring her back a medal. I've just got to go.
I see. Think you could pass a physical?
Not the slightest doubt of it, sir. We're both of us very healthy for our age.
All right. I suppose it's unheard of for a regiment on the border to take drummers along on active service. But if you can pass the medical officer, you can both go along.
Oh, blimey! We're going to the front! Oh, I mean, thank you, sir. Jakin!
The regiment marched out of the station 2 days later, and all those left behind lined the road that led past the parade ground. The band stood by and played them out, waiting to fall in at the rear of the column. And although Jakin perspired and beat on his drum manfully to cover up, it was quite evident that Piggy Lou was not with the band. Jakin kept glancing at the cedar hedge behind him, and I had a pretty good idea why Piggy was being detained.
You've just got to be awful careful and take real good care of yourself, Peggy. You're so venturesome. I'd worry all the time.
It's hard, Chris. I'll grant you it's hard, but what's a man to do when his regiment's called on active service now? Yeah. Give us another kiss.
Oh, Peggy.
That's more like it.
If you'd have stayed here like you'd ought to have, you could have had as many as you wanted.
And if I'd done that, Chris, you wouldn't think anything of me.
Like as not, but, well, at least I'd have had you with me, Piggy. And all the thinking in the world ain't like kissing.
And all the kissing in the world ain't like having a medal to wear on the front of your coat.
Who cares about a medal? Just stay with me, Peggy, darling, and I'll love you true forever.
Aren't you going to do that anyhow, Chris? You said you was.
Oh, of course I am, but it'd be lots more comfortable if you stayed here.
Don't take on about it, Chris. I'll be coming back, and I'll marry you someday, too. I promise.
Oh, but when? Years and years, perhaps. You'll be careful, won't you, Peggy?
Well, a man has to take his chances in the army, Chris, but if it happens, I'll be thinking of you right to the last.
Oh, don't talk like that.
Oh, now, here. Give us a kiss.
Piggy, come on over here. We're about to fall in.
I've got to go now, Chris, my love. Don't you be forgetting me.
Oh, I won't ever, Peggy. Here, I made something for you to take with you.
What is it?
It's a button bag. All the regular soldiers carry them. I've put some of me hair in it.
Well, now, it's awful kind of you, Chris.
Oh, it ain't made so well, but I didn't want nobody else to help me, not even Mum.
I'll carry it right over my heart, so long as I'm alive.
Oh, don't say things like that.
Piggy, come on.
Give us one more kiss now. I can't stay no longer.
Oh, Piggy.
Goodbye, Chris. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye, Piggy. Be careful. Oh, be careful.
I'll be coming round to see you, Chris, my love, when I get back from the war.
Oh, Piggy.
Well, it's about time. And lucky we're not both in trouble. Here, stick this blinking fife in your ugly mouth and blow on it. Petticoat chaser.
Just beat your drum, soldier, before I decide to beat on your ruddy head a bit. Tell the colonel he can shove off now.
A great hour on CBS Friday night is This is Broadway. Rising stars bring you their top acts and their problems for the future to Clifton Fadiman, Abe Burrows, and George S. Kaufman, three show business experts ready with advice. Be sure to hear This is Broadway tomorrow night and every Friday night on most of these same CBS stations. And now, we return to the second act of Escape, and tonight's story, Drums of the Fore and Aft.
And so the Fore and Fit went north to the wars. First by troop train, and then on foot, when the last railhead left them with a 7-day route march before they'd reach the front up ahead. And during those 7 weary days, the regiment began to crack. The men weren't hardened to the long miles of marching, and they found themselves dead tired before noon of each day. The food was bad, and the water was worse. And on the second day, the snipers started in. They would hide in the tumble rocks of the low brown hills beside the road and wait for the column to pass. The first sign of one would be a flash and a puff of smoke, and some man on the long line of march would die without ever seeing the enemy who'd killed him. And even at night, the tired and nerve-shattered men could find no rest. If anything, the night hours in the dark tents were a good deal worse than the daylight hours on the dusty road.
Oh, shut up, Piggy. I've got to get myself some sleep.
As if I ain't marched just as far as you have. Oh, my feet's fair killing me.
Well, it serves you bloody well right for getting us into this. We could be back in the barracks now, living on the fat of the land.
And halfway to becoming musicians, like as not.
In which case, I'd be sleeping in a regular bed and having some decent grub to eat for once.
I'm afraid you're not the army type, Jake, and perhaps I shouldn't have talked my friend, the colonel, into letting you come...
Shut up in there! Tie that tent before I come in and take a belt to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you don't have to go calling a blinking sergeant, sir.
There ain't no harm in it.
What's that?
That's the left wing. Stay in your tent!
Piggy, that's another one of our sentries got himself killed out there.
Them Pathan beggars can sneak up in the dark without making a sound. Then they take their bloody long knives and slice a man open as neat as you please.
Hold your fire till you see what you're shooting at.
I wonder what they look like, Piggy. these here pitons.
What's it matter when we can't even carry rifles? I ask you now, Jakin, look at this in my hand. How's a man to get himself a medal when all he's got for a weapon is a bloomin' fife?
Late afternoon of the 7th day, weary, savage, and sick, their uniforms dulled and unclean, the 4 and Fit rendezvoused with the Highland Regiment.
Hey, lads, here comes the new regiment, the 4 and Fit.
The 4 and Fit, eh? And may I ask you, what is it they're fit for?
Some of the men bore wounds, and some with stretcher cases. But the real casualty was the regimental morale. These raw recruits had marched out of their station in the south with the band playing, and somehow they'd imagined they might march gloriously into battle the same way. But no band played when they slogged to a stop at the brigade encampment.
Blimey! Look at them chaps over there wearing petticoats.
A lot, you know. They're islanders, me lad, and I've heard a man had best take no liberties with them.
Oh. Well, Piggy, do you think we found the ruddy war at last?
What else? Ain't that a full-blown general over there talking to our colonel?
Had a bit of a rough time of it coming down, sir. My men have been rather mauled and no chance of a fair return. They only want to go someplace where they can see what's before them.
I understand, Colonel. I wish I could let you have a few days to recover, but I simply can't spare you just now.
Oh, there'll be no need of it, sir. All we're wanting is one good night's rest.
I see. Well, you can pitch your camp next to the Highlanders, Colonel, and I suggest you call a general inspection before dark. We plan to attack the enemy position at dawn.
Very good, sir.
So, it's active service you wanted, Piggy, eh? And how much longer do you think they're going to keep us standing here with the bloody daylight barely coming over the hills?
Just take a look at them pitons out there on the plain.
Must be 8 of them to one of us, right down the line.
It makes it that much easier to get a medal.
Now, how do you hope to get a medal? Maybe you're going to blow their bloody eardrums in with your little fife.
More like it. We'll not even have a chance to see how the beggars look. The band, as you might have heard, is going to wheel and retire when we reach them rocks out there, while the regular soldiers go in and attack the enemy.
Which, I might say, is exactly the way I'd plan it myself. I got no fondness for being sliced up like a leg of lamb.
Ah, you got no spirit, Jakin.
Them as want spirit can have it. As for me, I... Here we go, Piggy.
Right, y'all, Jakin. Ready now.
The 2, either right, quick, march!
Watch yourself now, Jakin, and step lively. Just keep your eye on me, and I'll make a bloody hero out of you.
Only someone had blundered. Someone had misread an order. And the 4 and Fit moved out onto the plain to attack the enemy force alone.
The 4 and Fit's moving out.
At the clump of rock, the band wheeled and halted and continued to play, while the ranks opened to form a skirmish line and moved slowly ahead.
Hold steady, laddies. We have no orders to move out, and therefore we'll stand fast anew. If the 4 and Fit wishes to fight like hogs, then they'll fight
At 500 yards range from the enemy line, the regiment began firing at will. At will and wildly. In a few minutes, they'd thrown away half of their ammunition and blinded themselves with their own smoke. And farther out on the plain, the Afghan army stood quietly, firing occasional well-aimed bullets into the milling herd of green troops.
Brainless fools, they're bunching like a herd
Suddenly,
of sheep.
from the main body of the Afghan troops, a small band of about 50 Pathan warriors charged forward and fell upon the startled Englishmen. These were the Ghazis, the suicide squad, always thrown out ahead of the Afghan army before any main test of strength. Swinging their long, heavy knives, they struck the close-packed British line.
In the name of heaven, don't they extend into open order? They'll be
The 4 and Fit wavered, reeling away from the vicious slashes of the murderous bone-handled knives, rallied for an instant and held, then broke, turned tail, and ran.
Will you look at them laddies? They turn and run.
I might say they make better speed to the rear than they made to the fore.
They're anything but fore and fit now. More like it to call them the fore and aft.
It'll take him a long time to live that one down. At the fore and aft.
The regiment took no thought for the wounded, for the men left behind, nor did they stop until they jammed in the pass that led up to the hill. And the band, too, was carried along with them in their headlong flight. All the band, except 2 men.
Piggy, you think them bloody Patan beggars can see us hiding here in the rocks?
Oh, of course not.
Well, I hope you're right.
Bloomin' cowards, running away. Now, weren't that a fine way for a British regiment to act?
Had we done the same thing, we'd not be left behind here the way we are.
Now, what's got into you? You're comfortable, ain't you?
I may be comfortable, but I ain't easy in me mind.
Ah, put a sock in it. Hey, look, somebody's dropped the canteen here. Maybe it's got rum in it.
Well, now, how can you hope to tell by shaking it?
Here now, keep your dirty hands off it. I'll do the trying it out.
Well, is it, Piggy? Is it?
No, it's water.
Oh.
Here, have yourself a free drink on Her Majesty, drummer boy.
Righto.
Jakin, look.
What?
Them Patan beggars is starting back for their own lines. Hey, keep your head down.
Well, now with the bloomin' enemy retiring, perhaps our lads'll come out and rescue us.
Not them, the bloody cowards.
Well, don't they know the Patans ain't chasing 'em no more?
They can't see nothing but their own precious skins. Mo. Maybe we ought to give 'em a little music. Show 'em it's all nice and cozy out here now.
What? Do you want us to go and get our blinking selves shot?
Oh, they ain't no enemy close by now. Come on, Jakin, take up your bloody drum there.
Here, are you positive there was only water in that canteen?
Oh, so like as not you're a coward too, the same as the rest of the regiment.
What? I'll show you who's a coward, Piggy, my boy. Here, take your blooming fife. There, and stick it in your ugly face.
Well, now, so you have got a bit of spirit. Maybe I'll speak to my old friend the Colonel about it.
Oh, shut up and start blowing. You ready?
Ready all? Now.
Where is it we're going to march to, Piggy?
Back and forth a time or two in full sight. Then we'll wait in the rocks for the battle to start. Are they watching us?
Yeah, they're watching us. Oh, yes, they're watching us, all right.
Time held still, and even the Afghan snipers forgot their weapons, while 2 armies watched the tiny, red-coated figures marching back and forth on the battlefield alone.
Aye, and I'll tell you for certain, there's a pair of brave laddies down there.
All right, you bleeding cowards! Look at them out there! Are them 2 children the only brave men in the regiment?
The men of the fore and aft lifted their heads, fingered their rifles, and stared without moving. And out there on the silent plain, back and forth marched Jakin and Piggy.
Have we got to play these blooming instruments all day long? Ain't the blighters ever going to come back?
Shut up, Jakin. Keep playing.
Well, all I might say is, I shouldn't have ever let you talk me into this. I ain't cut out for active service anyway. I should bloody well feel more comfortable if I was back in the barracks. I was back in...
Jakin. Jakin. Oh, you blinking heathen blighters! You've killed Jakin! All right, I'll show you who's afraid of you! Go. Come on, you bloomin' cowards!
2 armies saw them die from the snipers' bullets. 2 armies and the men of the fore and aft.
All right, men of the regiment. What now? Those two at least were brave enough to know how to die.
Pigs! Bayonets! This time we attack, and there'll be no turning back!
Look at them, laddies. The fore and aft, they're going back to fight.
Aye, look at them run. That's how it should have been done the first time.
Aye, laddies, and now is the time for us. Orders or no, here's where we join the fight. Company, prepare to charge. Charge!
Late afternoon saw the Afghan army wiped out, and the general explained to me how everything had gone according to his plan, and how he hoped I'd cable that back to my paper in London right away. I turned and left him then, and walked across the silent battlefield, walked out among the silent dead. The two tiny figures lay quite close together, Jakin fallen across his broken drum, and Piggy Lou with the fife still clenched in his dirty fist. A bulge under his tunic caught my eye, and I reached in and drew out a button bag, embroidered crudely with the name Chris.
I made it for you myself, Piggy, darling. And I put some of my own hair inside of it.
I'll wear it right next to my heart, Chris, so long as I'm alive.
I thought how Chris would soon forget, and how the world's memory is no longer than hers. The sun was sinking away into the west. The button bag in my hand was soaked, damp, and over the left breast of Piggy's grimy uniform, over the pocket where decorations are usually worn, a brighter red stain had spread out through the coarse wool, looking very much like the bright red ribbon that goes with a medal.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Tonight we have presented Drums of the Fore and Aft by Rudyard Kipling, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield. Featured in the cast were Ben Wright as Rudyard Kipling, Hugh Thomas as Piggy Lou, and Terry Kilburn as Jakin, with Colleen Collins, Ramsey Hill, Alec Harford, Wilms Herbert, and Tudor Owen. Special music arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week,
you are hanging by your fingertips on the sheer face of an ice cliff, suspended 1,000 feet above instant death, with your strength running out and with no chance for escape.
Next week, we bring you an adventure tale, Action by C.E. Montague. Be sure to tune in at this same time next week when once again we offer you Escape. In just a few minutes, Casey, crime photographer, embarks upon another adventure with death. Tonight's adventure is called Crazy Like a Fox. Join crime photographer on most of these same CBS stations. Tip Corning speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
That was Escape with the episode Drums of the Fore and Aft from July 14th, 1949. Finally, let's conclude with The Martin and Lewis Show. In this episode, the guest is the talented Hoagie Carmichael. Jerry portrays Clyde Cranston, the world's foremost authority on proper behavior, and Dean plays Groucho Martin, host of the quiz show No You Bet Your Life. Here is The Martin and Lewis Show that originally aired on October 14th, 1952.
Hey, Jan, you got a cigarette?
Have I got a cigarette? Dean, I've got the cigarette.
You mean Chesterfield?
I mean Chesterfield.
I'm with you.
Which means that Chesterfield, the first cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show.
Listen, friends, get hep, get wise by Chesterfield, regular or king size. Either way, the best of smokes.
Best possible smoke for all you folks.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Sound off for Chesterfield. Try a pack of Chesterfield.
And do it today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring you our master of ceremonies, Dean Martin.
Well, some people think there must be an easier way to make a living, but I can't think of a happier way than coming up to the good old NBC mic every Tuesday. So before my pal and partner emerges from his cage, let's get on with the song, Richard. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends upon you. I never mind the rain from the sky if I can find the sun in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you. Ah, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you. But when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great
Hey, Dean,
pleasure.
I got something to tell you, Dean. I got...
Oh, my pal Jerry Lewis. Why are you so excited?
Well, I was up... well, you see, Dean, I'm so excited. I was up on a third floor, and I met a woman who says that she knew me when I was a little boy. And she remembers all the things I did when I was very young.
Jerry, I saw you talking to that lady, and it was your mother.
Good heavens, no wonder she threw me down the stairs.
Oh, stop it, Jerry. Your mother could never do such a thing.
I was just kidding, Dean. Mama's really very sweet and tender.
How do you know she's sweet and tender?
I bit her.
That's terrible, Jerry. That is terrible. You shouldn't do that. Why do you come out here and say these stupid things? Why must you be so brainless?
I can't help it. Someone stole my hat.
Why must you be brainless because someone stole your hat?
My head was in it.
Oh. You know, speaking of heads, yours should be examined.
Oh, it was, Dean. In fact, I had a complete examination. The doctor said I suffer from gluggophobia.
Gluggophobia?
Oh, yeah. It's a fear of drowning in mayonnaise.
Now, don't tell me you're afraid of drowning in mayonnaise.
Sure, that's why you never see me in a salad bowl.
There isn't a bit of truth in anything you just said. You made it all up.
But suppose it was true. Suppose I didn't make it up.
I suppose. Suppose some night they moved the Empire State Building over to New Jersey.
There'd be one heck of a parking lot in New York.
Now, look, Jerry, you gotta stop this crazy talk. Why can't you speak with dignity?
Herman Dignity, is he on the show?
There is no Herman Dignity.
Good gracious, and he had so much to live for.
same to you. I'm getting tired of Jerry Lewis.
Well, then why don't I become Clyde Cranston?
And who is Clyde Cranston?
Only the greatest authority on etiquette the world has ever known.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me dubious pleasure to bring you the world's greatest authority on proper behavior, Mr. Clyde Cranston. Well, Mr. Cranston, it is certainly a pleasure to have a man of your culture attainments on this program.
You better say that or I'll belt you one.
Mr. Cranston, would you care to give us some advice on proper etiquette?
I wouldn't care to give nothing.
Do you mean you want money for your advice?
What do you think I want, Halavar? I want money.
Oh, come now. Money isn't everything. It can't buy love.
Maybe you can't buy love, but it's sure nice to have when you're shopping around.
Tell me, Mr. Cranston, I received a dinner invitation the other day. On the invitation were the letters RSVP. Can you tell me what that stands for?
Oh, certainly. That stands for RSVP.
RSVP?
RSVP, yeah.
And what does RSVP stand for?
RSVP is Pivsver spelled backwards.
Oh. Of course, how silly of me. Now, after this dinner, should I send my hostess a bread and butter note?
You look pretty stupid right now, pumpernickel.
Mr. Cranston, I believe someone is pulling my leg.
Well, it ain't me, buddy. I got both hands on the script.
Yeah. Mr. Cranston, our time is growing short, but I would like to ask one last question.
What is it? Go ahead. What is it? Ask it. Hurry up.
How did you first become interested in good manners?
Well, when I was a small kid, I didn't have no manners, see? But I soon saw the error of I soon saw...
I soon saw?
No, I soon saw the error of my miserable ways, and at the age of 1, I was a changed baby.
Well, how were you changed?
Oh, the usual way, a double diaper, you know.
No, I mean, what made you different at 1 year old?
Well, I tell you, see, I was playing on the floor one day when I suddenly took inventory of myself. My hair wasn't combed, my face was covered with egg stains, my little romper was dirty and torn, and I had just spilled a plate of oatmeal in my lap. I crawled over to the mirror as fast as my chubby little legs could carry me, looked straight into my baby blue eyes and said, "Clyde Cranston, you're a slob."
Nose, throat, and accessory organs not adversely affected by smoking Chesterfields. First such report published about any cigarette.
A responsible consulting organization reports a study by a competent medical specialist and staff on the effects of smoking Chesterfields. For 6 months, a group of men and women smoked only Chesterfield, 10 to 40 a day, their normal amount. 45% of the group have smoked Chesterfields from 1 to 30 years, for an average of 10 years each. At the beginning and end of the 6 months, each smoker was given a thorough examination, including x-rays, and covering the sinuses, nose, ears, and throat. After these examinations, the medical specialist stated,
"It is my opinion that the ears, nose, throat, and accessory organs of all participating subjects examined by me were not adversely affected in the 6 months period by smoking the cigarettes provided."
Remember this report and buy Chesterfields, regular or king size, premium quality Chesterfields, and much milder.
There isn't a singer in the business who hasn't taken a whirl at this next song, and I'm not going to be an exception. I'll just sing it and hope you like it half as much as I do.
If you love me half as much as I love you, you wouldn't worry me half as much as you do. You're nice to me when there's no one else around. You only build me up to let me down. If you miss me half as much as I miss you, you wouldn't stay away half as much as you do. I know that I would never be this blue if you only loved me half as much as I love you. If you loved me half as much as I love you, you wouldn't stay away half as much as you do. I know that I would never be this blue if you only loved me half as much as I love you.
Thank you very much. Very kind. Folks, our guest tonight is the author of some of the most singable songs of our generation, and when he isn't busy writing songs or playing piano or singing, he manages to keep pretty active, building up his reputation as one of movie land's top character actors. I guess you know that all this could happen to nobody but Mr. Stardust himself, Hoagie Carmichael.
Thank you, folks, and thank you, Dean.
Well, Hoagie, it's a real pleasure to have you with us tonight. You have no idea how much Jerry is looking forward to meeting you. He's a great fan of yours.
From what I've heard, this could be fatal.
Why, you don't believe all those rumors about Jerry, do you? For your information, that boy is just as kind and sweet and gentle as any other idiot.
Hey, Dean, I just had it.
Good heavens, there's a strange little bee in our hive.
Don't start in now, Jerry. You know very well who this is.
Will you give me 3 guesses?
All right, I'll give you 3 guesses.
Good, I give up.
I'll give you a hint. He plays piano.
He plays piano. How silly of me. How are you, Harry? How's Beth?
Listen, Buster, Harry Truman isn't the only piano player in the world.
Yeah, well, that ain't what Margaret says.
Look, Jerry, I am Hoagie Carmichael, and I write songs.
How do you do? I am Jerry Lewis, and I write love letters in the sand.
Now, Jerry, you should show a little respect. After all, Mr. Carmichael is a songwriter and a piano player and a singer and an actor.
What's the trouble, buddy? Can't you hold a job?
Jerry, I don't think you quite realize who our guest is.
Oh, sure I do. I know Herbie Carmichael. He's that poker-faced guy who sings and plays the piano in all those pictures.
Oh, then you do know me.
Sure. Hey, how come you never smile when you're playing the piano?
I don't want people to confuse me with Liberace.
I've often wondered how a songwriter gets his inspiration for a song.
Well, the inspiration varies. Let's take the time I wrote Old Buttermilk Sky.
No, let's take the time I wrote the sequel to it.
Oh, you wrote a sequel to Old Buttermilk Sky?
Sure, Old Sour Cream Cloud.
Old Sour Cream Cloud? Jerry, I didn't know you were a fellow songwriter.
You didn't? You ought to hear my new one that I dedicated to Terry and the Pirates. It's entitled, Dragon Lady, Your Dragon Lady. But what you're Dragon Lady, you shouldn't be dragging, Dragon Lady. It's a waltz.
Now you pay no attention to him, Hoagie.
Yeah. You know something, Dean? Next time I guest on a radio show, I think it'll be a quiz show. Something tells me they're easier.
Well, no need to wait for it, Hoagie. With a little music and a few choice words, we can get into one right now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Hoagie Carmichael are proud to present their version of that popular quiz program, You Bet Your Life, entitled No, You Bet Your Life. And here he is, your master of ceremonies.
That's me, Groucho Martin. Well, our jackpot jet is $999.99. If anyone finds a penny in the theater, it may be the one we're looking for. George Fenningham? Good heavens, it is George Fenningham. Who's our first couple?
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, the studio audience selected two atomic scientists as our first couple, and they're waiting in a little room off stage.
You better call our second couple.
For our second couple, Groucho, the studio audience selected a German music professor and a popular songwriter. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Martin.
Welcome to No, You Bet Your Life. And suppose you tell our listeners a secret word. It's a common word. We use it every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word is lithionymic dergititis.
Now, if either of you contestants guess the word, you will divide 18 cents between you.
Is it lithionymic dergititis?
My goodness, it's amazing. That's the first time anyone ever guessed our secret word.
What's the matter? Don't nobody read the script?
Wow. You must be the German music professor. Tell me, what's your name?
Well, in Germany, they call me Hansford Obermacher von Kliedelhofer. But in America, they pronounce it Rory Calhoun.
All right. Now let's talk to the other contestant. What's your name, sir?
Hoagie Carmichael.
Is that a name or an address? Tell me, Mr. Carmichael, have you met your fellow contestant, the professor?
Oh, no, I haven't, Groucho. Hiya, Professor. Slip me the skin.
Slip you some skin? I have hardly enough for myself.
You don't understand, Professor. Slip me some skin means let's shake hands. That's the way the modern musicians talk.
These modern musicians. No wonder they don't play good. They're too busy slipping the skin. But they don't fool me, and someday they will stop fooling the American pooper.
Professor, the word isn't poople, it's people.
Peep. Peep?
Peep.
Peep, peep?
Peep, peep.
We better stop this.
What's the matter?
My peep is getting pooped.
Professor, you certainly take the cake. On second thought, I think I'll take the cake. The frosting matches my wallpaper.
Say, how about getting on with the program? Now I got to get home and work on my new song.
You're writing a new song? What's it called?
Well, it's pretty sweet and sentimental. I call it, When You Gave Me Your Lip, I Thought I'd Flip.
I like that. Maybe it would be good for me to teach this song for my new pupil, Johnny Ray's grandfather.
Say, you're teaching Johnny Ray's grandfather to sing? Is he good?
He's wonderful. Wunderbar. Ooh. Of course, he's a little too old to cry, so when he sings, dust forms in the corner of his eye.
Gentlemen, it's time to go down with the questions. This is your big chance to beat the other couples. George Fenneman will remind the audience who's winning so far.
The sponsor and the sponsor's wife are way ahead with $18 million.
Well, we're running short of time, so we'll skip right to the jackpot question. Your category is military slogans. And here's your question. Which general in which battle issued that world-famous battle cry, "Stop"? You have 10 seconds to answer that question.
Well, I think it was...
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Hey, wait!
I'm sorry, but you'll have to wait in the little room off stage.
Well, Groucho, you forgot the atomic scientist. There's no little room off stage. Stop him before it...
All right, Fenneman. Who's our third couple?
Here's what the tobacco trade press has had to say about Chesterfield.
U.S. Tobacco Journal. Boston, Massachusetts. Chesterfield cigarettes in the new king size is still maintaining large turnovers in this area. Dealers report that sales continue to climb on this size, and it seems that volume on the regular size has climbed to new heights with its big brother.
And Tobacco Leaf reports from Chicago. More calls for Chesterfield king-size cigarettes than for most brands being marketed.
Dealers all over the country tell us no product they ever handled has grown so fast in so short a time as king-size Chesterfields.
King-size cigarettes give you quantity, but only Chesterfield king-size gives you quantity plus quality, premium quality.
Chesterfield king size contains tobaccos of better quality and higher price than any other king-size cigarette.
In fact, the only difference between Chesterfield king size and Chesterfield regular is that the king size is larger, contains more of these same tobaccos, enough to give you more than a 1/5 longer smoke.
So remember, Chesterfield is the only cigarette to give smokers premium quality in both regular and king size.
Ask your dealer for Chesterfield, either way you like them. Premium quality Chesterfields, and much milder.
Tonight, we pull an old favorite off the shelf and take you for a little trip down memory lane. And I guess we can consider it fitting and proper to dig into that huge stockpile of Hoagie Carmichael hits. I could probably pull out any one of his songs and be sure of a happy reception, but we had to pick one, and we settled on Two Sleepy People. So, Richard, here we go.
Here we are, out of cigarettes, holding hands and yawning. Look how late it gets. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight. Here we are, in a cozy chair, picking on a wishbone from the frigid air. Two sleepy people with nothing to say, and too much in love to break away. Do you remember the nights we used to linger in the hall, Father didn't like you at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To rent this little nest and get a little rest. Well, here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fella, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight. About the same. Foggy little fella, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight.
Dean, I just have to tell you, from the day Frank Lesser and I wrote that song, I can't remember enjoying it any more than I did tonight.
Well, thank you, Hoagie, and on behalf of all my fellow singers, thanks for writing the tunes that help us make the grade.
Dean's right, Hoagie. That sure is a pretty tune. Two sleepy people by dawn.
Jerry! It's people. Peep, remember?
Peep?
Peep.
Peep, peep.
All right, boys. I'm not going to listen to this peep get pooped again.
I don't blame you, Hoagie, but it's been fun having you with us, and let's hope you can drop back soon again.
Yeah, and do that, Hoiby. But remember, next time when you come on the show, I'll sing Stardust for you.
Well, I just want to say good night to you, Hoagie. You've been real wonderful.
Thank you. Good night, Dean.
Thanks for being a wonderful guest. Good night.
Thank you, Hoagie.
Thank you.
We'll be around next week, folks, and we're counting on you joining us. We're also counting on your smoking our Chesterfields, regular or king size. It's the one for you.
Get 'em today, friends. Dean and I wouldn't be selling Chesterfields unless we knew it was the best cigarette.
So until next week, this is Dean Martin.
And this is Jerry Lewis reminding you that our latest picture, Jumping Jacks, is playing at your local theaters. We hope you'll go see it.
Good night, and God bless you all.
From Hollywood, you've just heard transcribed the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show. Written by Ed Simmons and Norman Lear. Produced and directed by Dick Mack. With music prepared and conducted by Dick Stabile. And this is George Fenneman asking you to listen to a personal message from Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get serious for just a moment and express our heartfelt thanks to all of you who have sent contributions to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And for those of you who haven't contributed as yet, please give this wonderful charity a little thought. Somewhere there must be a cure for muscular dystrophy, and your contributions will help our wonderful scientists to find it. Please mail your contributions to MDA 21 East 40th Street, New York. That's MDA 21 East 40th Street, New York City, New York. Thank you and good night.
That was the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show with their guest, Hoagie Carmichael, first heard on October 14th, 1952. I'll be back with final thoughts right after this. Welcome back to Classic Radio Rewind. Don't forget to check out our other fantastic free streaming stations available on the WOTR Radio Network. Just visit our website at WOTRradionetwork.com and explore our diverse lineup. First up, we have Old Time Radio USA, perfect for those who love the golden age of radio with timeless classics and beloved shows. Then there's Suspense Radio USA, where you can find edge-of-your-seat thrillers and mystery from one of the most popular radio series ever. For the crime enthusiasts, Crime Time Radio USA is your go-to station, offering a collection of gritty detective stories and crime dramas. And if you dare to delve into the eerie and supernatural, Nightmare Radio USA brings you spine-chilling horror and ghost stories that will haunt your dreams. No matter your taste, there's something for everyone at the WOTR Radio Network. So head over to our website and start streaming today. That's it for this week's episode, folks. We thank you for tuning in, and until next time, this is Barry Slinker saying goodbye for now.
Classic Radio Rewind is a production of the WOTR Radio Network. For more Classic Radio Rewind, and to listen to any of the WOTR Radio Network stations, go to www.wotrradionetwork.com.